Dear students, in the previous video, I explained about the topic Third Anglo-Maratha War. You learnt in the topic how the British has suppressed the Marathas' resistance. You learnt about the topic. Today let us start a new topic about the Sikh War, the Anglo-Sikh War. So what is the meaning of Anglo? Anglo means you have to consider as a British. So today we are going to learn about a Anglo means British and the Sikh War. The condition of the British power from the 1880 to 1857, if you observe, the British completed their agenda. Agenda in the sense what they had the goal. The British completed their agenda of ruling the entire India from the 1880 to 1857. Completed almost, if you observe, from the first, second, third Carnatic Wars, Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar, if you observe. So what they had the agenda, how the British had their agenda. So according to that they have completed. So almost they have controlled the major states, small states like Sindh, Awadh, and some of the more than that, some of the other states like small states also they have controlled. Today let us start a new topic, so about the Anglo-Sikh War. Before starting this topic, you must know about Ranjit Singh. Ranjit Singh is one of the powerful ruler of a Sikh. So he was very good friend with he had a very nice friendship with the British. So let me start a new topic, so Anglo-Sikh Wars. A political anarchy broke out in Punjab after the death of the King Ranjit Singh in 1839. The political anarchy. What is the meaning of anarchy? So anarchy means absence of the government and absolute freedom of the individuals. Absence of the government and absolute freedom of the individual is considered as a anarchy. Understand the point, children, here. The political anarchy broke out in a Punjab. Which place? So Punjab, after the death of the King Ranjit Singh in 1839. Who is Ranjit Singh? Ranjit Singh is the head. He is the king of the Punjab, and he was a very good friendship with. He had a friendship with the British. So he expired in the year 1839. So after his death, whose death? After the Ranjit Singh death, the anarchy, political anarchy, because here when the king is not there, the government, no head of the authority is there. So everybody, because of the absence of the government means because of absence of Ranjit Singh, everybody got a freedom to occupy the Punjab. The political anarchy broke out in the Punjab after the death of King Ranjit Singh in the 1839. After the death of Ranjit Singh, so complete the Punjab, if you take the area, so politically everybody started, individual person has started to take the ruling in that particular area. The British attempt to invade Punjab, violating the treaty of the friendship they had with the king. The British, who children, this is a British. Why the British? British means I already explained you that he had a very good friendship with the Ranjit Singh. Attempt to invade. Invade means occupy. So invade means occupy Punjab, violating. Violating in the sense you have to consider break or fail to comply with some of the agreement with the rulers. They have already had some of the agreement with the rulers. They have violated. What the agreement has done? They have violated. They have neglected that particular rules. That is a treaty of a friendship they had with the means former. So previous king. After, see, they had a very good friendship with the Ranjit Singh, means they had the friendship pact, they had the treaty of a friendship treaty they had. But after the Ranjit Singh death, the British got a chance to enter to the Punjab, means they have tried to invade, they have tried to occupy the Punjab, even though they had the friendship pact with the Punjab. In December 1845, a war broke out between the British and the Punjab. In 1845, the war broke out between whom and who? The British and the Punjab. Why the war has taken broke out, children? Because so if they had an agreement with the Punjab, even though the British has tried to occupy the India, so that is the reason. So they had the plan to fight against the British. Sensing the danger from an outside force, so Hindus, Sikhs and the Muslims got together to defeat the British. Sensing in the sense, what you say that they got the information, means they had the idea, so they had the sense that it is a danger from an outside force. Outside force means you have to understand that the British force is a very strongest force. The the Punjab rulers was knowing that the British are very strong. Hindu, Sikh and the Muslim. You have to understand, children, Hindu, Sikh and the Muslims, they got together to defeat the British. See, always if you consider, if in the end you will understand that Sikh, Muslims as well as the Hindus, all together they have made a troop to fight against the British. Together they have made a one group, and because they know that they have the sense that of course the British they had the very strong troop. To defeat them it was not so easy. So all three together, Hindu, Sikh and Muslim, all three together they made the group and they tried to defeat the British. See, finally they had to accept the defeat due to few territorial leaders. Territorial leaders means the ruler of that particular state. So in the Punjab, some of the rulers was that they are the territorial leaders, means because of some territorial leaders, so they have to accept the defeat. See, here you have to understand this particular point. In spite the Sikh, Muslims and the Hindus, they have united together and they tried to fight against the British. In spite of that, some leaders was there, some territorial leaders, some states, some of the places leaders was there. They have supported for the British instead of Punjab. Because of that, they have to accept the defeat. Who has to accept the defeat? The Punjab has to accept the defeat. They signed a humiliating treaty. They have to sign a humiliating Lahore Agreement. Understand, children, this one's very, very important. Lahore Agreement. Who has to sign the humiliating treaty here? The Punjab has to agree the humiliating Lahore Agreement. Which is the agreement means that is a Lahore Agreement. Humiliating means like making someone feel ashamed and foolish by injuring that their dignity and pride. So making someone like feel ashamed. So they have made, the British had made the Punjab kings to ashame, means Sikh to ashame. That is called as a humiliating. They have insulted them in such a way, in a foolish way. They have injured them in such a way. The dignity of the Punjab king has lost. Such a way is considered as a humiliating treaty of a Lahore Agreement was signed by the British and this Punjab kings. In 1846, when the humiliating treaty was signed, children, Lahore Agreement, remember this one, Lahore Agreement was signed in the year 1846. With the British resident become the de facto ruler of the Punjab. What is the meaning of de facto ruler? Means here you have to understand, existing means that the British resident will be existing in that, he will take care of that particular area, but he will not be having any legal rights. He will not be having any legal rights. Everything will be controlled by the British East Indian Company. Just he has become the, you can say, existing, or he will be having his position on the fact, everything will be there, but in his legal rights, everything will be controlled by the British itself. So you can understand, I hope you understood, children. With the British resident, one of the British resident become the de facto ruler of the Punjab. Who become the de facto ruler here? The British residents, one of the British resident had become the de facto, means so all the rules and regulations will be controlled by the British itself. Just he is the authority. He will be having the authority only to say that he is a fact, he is a leader, that's it. Like this, Punjab become the dependent state of the East Indian Company. From the help of this one, defeating the agreement of this Lahore Agreement, with the help of Lahore Agreement, so complete, the Punjab become the dependent state of a East Indian Company here. So you can consider that some of the territorial leader, when it considered, even Dulip Singh, they have not mentioned in this book. Even the Dulip Singh was there, he accepted the subsidiary alliance actually in the Sikh, but they have not mentioned here. So like that, some of the territory was there, they have agreed the subsidiary alliance, they have become full favor for the British. So as a result, the Punjab completely came to the hand of a British. The Sikh opposed the attempts by the British to rule Punjab directly. So as here, some of the kings have tried, and some of the kings felt very bad that So the complete Sikh, came to the Punjab, came to the control of the complete, means direct control of the East Indian Company. Some Punjab kings were started to oppose this. The opposition were led by Chattar Singh Atharwal in Lahore and Molraj in Multan. Again, the people of the Punjab were defeated. Finally, Lord Dalhousie merged the state of Punjab with the British Empire. So, starting at least it was a resident they were controlling. Later, when these two kings also they have tried to fight against the British. So then again they have to accept the defeat. So why? Because here most of the Indians, some of the places, they are supporting for the British, not for the Indians. That is the reason what happens here. They have not support for the kings. So that is the reason even the Punjab ruler also accept the British. Don't think that British is very strong when compared to Indians. It's not like that. But here some of the force supported for the British rather than the Indians. Due to this one, they have to accept the defeat. This is the second Anglo-Sikh war. If you have any doubts regarding this particular topic, I'll be explaining in the next class, or anything you have a doubt you can ask in the WhatsApp itself. Thank you, children.